Yeah. Is the only real explanation that they killed each other simultaneously?
Miles Edgeworth? You should listen to someone until they are finished talking.
What are you talking about?
I'll only say it one more time. This is a competition to see who is truly worthy of the Von Karma name.
A competition?
The person that figures out the truth first wins.
So the person who doesn't discover the truth is a dishonor to the name?
Exactly! I don't care that you became a prosecutor before me. I simply refuse to hear any more foolish things that come from your foolishly foolish mouth.
Fine. Whatever makes you happy.
Can I take that as you accepting my challenge?
Once again, whatever makes you happy.
Well then, let's begin the investigation, shall we? I'm going to find the perfect evidence and prettily present it like the professional I am.
Competing to discover the truth behind a crime. How delightfully childish.
You kids, over there, hold it.
Kid?
Serves you right, Miles. He just called you a kid.
I said kids, kid.
How dare you call me a kid as well?
I'll do what I please, and I won't allow you to cause a ruckus on my crime scene. Hey, big guy, you're going to watch over these two.
Yes, sir, Detective Bad, sir. Now, do what I say from now on, kids, okay?
You'd better not get in our way, Scruffy. You'll feel the bite of my whip if you do.
Then, you, prosecutor boy. Let's get your investigation started already, alright?
Great. Now even that detective is treating me like a child.
Alright, it's time to get investigating. Get a move on, prosecutor boy.
My name is Miles Edgeworth. And if you were to call me Prosecutor Boy one more time, it will be my duty as a prosecutor to look into your monthly salary.
What? And what would you do with my salary after you saw how much it was?
That's up to you now, isn't it?
Really? Sounds great, pal.
Ah, he's so naive. Detective Bad, may I have a word with you?
What is it?
It appears that both a knife and a gun were used as murder weapons.
Yeah, it does.
That leads us to our first question of the investigation. Where did the men acquire the weapons?
The gun was inside of Faraday's bag. It was a piece of evidence that was presented in the trial earlier today. It was used to kill the Cadopian Embassy staff member. But I never heard anything about the knife. Mr. Rell was being held by the police. There's no way he could have brought it in. Which means it's possible that Faraday had the knife on him from the start as well.
Could it have been a piece of evidence that had yet to be presented? But then, why doesn't Detective Bad know about it? Wait, what if... It's possible that Mr. Faraday brought the knife in under the guise of prosecutorial evidence. He could have then brought it out and attacked Mr. Rell with it.
Huh. Maybe you've got a brain in there after all, kid.
Is he going to treat me like a child forever?
It looks like Mr. Faraday attacked Mr. Rell first, who then counterattacked. That's the only logical conclusion you can draw from a scene like this.
Not yet. I feel that it's much too early to be drawing conclusions already. I must first find conclusive evidence, so as to ensure the honor of the Von Karma name. The window is open, and... there's a fresh flowery scent in the air.
Ugh, the flowers in the garden down there are so gross and ghastly.
Do you think maybe you could try offering something useful for a change?
Well, at least there's no way someone escaped through this window, pal. They wouldn't wake up and smell the flowers after a fall from the 3rd floor.
Are you willfully ignoring the fact that there are also iron bars on the windows?
Yeah, I guess there's that too. By the way, no one could get through these windows, right?
They thought of everything when they were designing this courthouse. Very nice. There are some plastic bags stacked up on the table. There's a tea set too, but there doesn't seem to be any sign of a disturbance.
Yeah, the table's all neat and tidy. Maybe they were super quiet in their scuffle? After all, I didn't hear anything from out in the hallway, you know.
Maybe the plastic bags scattered on the floor are throwing us off?
Whoa!
What is it, Detective Gumshoe?
My TV at home is so tiny compared to this one, pal!
Then perhaps you should purchase a more normal-sized television like this one.
Ooh, let me see here. Wow, this thing is huge! And way too noisy!
You're the noisy one, Scruffy.
Don't touch it. You'll get your fingerprints all over it.
But I didn't touch it.
Preservation of the crime scene is the foundation of detective work.
The foundation, huh? Sounds like something the rookie here needs to shore up on. It looks like Mr. Faraday fell on top of Mr. Rel. At first glance, it seems like they must have killed each other. However...
Using logic, the only conclusion is... Aha!
What was that outburst for?
My detective's instinct just hit me real hard. It was Mr. Rel that fell first, see?
You don't need detective's instinct for that. It's common sense. But I suppose we won't know much more than that until after I examine the bodies. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook or cranny.
Looks like Mr. Faraday died while holding a gun in his right hand.
So we shot Mr. Rel and then fell on top of him while still gripping onto the gun?
I guess that does seem kind of strange, huh? I mean, why would Mr. Faraday know how to fire a gun?
It's not exactly rocket science. Even I know how to pull a trigger. Although I doubt I'll ever need to use one.
I hope I never have to fire a gun either, pal. But it sure looks cool to hold a gun in your hands.
It appears the police's screening procedures need a thorough review. Anyway, I should jot down some notes about the handgun in Mr. Faraday's hand.
Looks like Mr. Rel died with a knife in his hand.
There's some blood stuck on it.
Then he must have used it as a weapon. Yup, no doubt about it.
Was Mr. Faraday carrying this on his personage? Did he bring this as a piece of evidence for the trial? Or did he bring it in with a very different intention in mind? I should jot some notes down about it. Why are there plastic bags scattered all around?
Those bags are for keeping evidence safe, pal.
I know that much, detective.
You sure are good at this stuff, aren't you, pal?
Normally, I'd be happy when someone compliments me, but when it's this guy... Anyway, could these plastic bags be evidence of a fight between the two men?
His hand is all black down there, see? I wonder what it could be.
If you look closely, this blotching pattern resembles an ink stain.
An ink stain?
Yes. I usually get ink on my own hand when I use my feather pen.
A feather pen? I've never seen one before. Sure you aren't just making it up, pal?
Mr. Rel's cause of death was from being shot, correct? That's what we think. But it's hard to tell with him lying face down. Death is bad enough. But it's truly lamentable that someone would try to hide the truth.
Are you sure they were trying to hide something?
I can't confirm Mr. Rel's cause of death with his body positioned like that. Detective Bad, I'd like to examine the body in further detail, if possible.
What's this? You're not able to form a theory with them the way they are?
I believe the examination of the bodies is vital to finding the perfect evidence, don't you?
Well, I suppose you do have a point. Well, hurry up and get on with it!
Labby,
Yes, sir. We've taken enough photos of the scene, sir.
and there you have it.
Do you not approve?
Of course not.
What?
Investigation of a crime scene is the work of a detective, so don't touch a thing. Hey, big fella, turn over the bodies for me, will you?
Okay. Please, forgive me, Mr. Faraday, sir.
Gumshoe, do not get emotionally involved. Remember, you're a detective.
Yes, sir. Understood, sir.
I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. There's something in his breast pocket. It's a fountain pen.
Hey, you know, I always keep a pencil behind my ear. It's because Detective Bad is always telling me you should always write your name on everything you own.
Yes. Somehow you do strike me as quite a forgetful individual.
There's a knife wound in his chest here. See?
I wonder if the wound matches the knife Mr. Rell was holding.
Labby,
Yes, sir. Verifying now, sir.
make it quick.
From the looks of things, one could deduce that the knife Mr. Rell is holding is what killed Mr. Faraday. Shot in the chest.
It takes some guts to fire a gun in a courthouse. I mean, I've been a detective for a whole week, and I still haven't fired a single round yet.
There aren't any burn marks on his clothes. That must mean...
Wait, burn marks?
A round grows very hot as it is discharged from a firearm. Therefore, burn marks are usually left when a shot is fired from point-blank range. Ergo, Mr. Rell must have been shot from at least a yard or two away.
You sure do know a bunch of neat stuff for your age, pal.
Apparently this detective has as much common knowledge as your everyday marsupial. Let us now try to understand how the two men died. First, Mr. Faraday took the gun and the knife out from today's trial evidence. Then, he aimed the gun at Mr. Rell and fired. However, Mr. Rell managed to grab the knife and counter Mr. Faraday while being shot. Then, the two men fell together where they stood. That is my theory in any case.
What a crazy way to go.
Still, something about the explanation just doesn't seem right. I believe I have a firmer grasp on what happened here. That splotch on Mr. Faraday's hand. I wonder if it might be the ink from his fountain pen.
Ooh, let's ask the lab guy.
Detective Gumshoe, I can confirm that the substance on Mr. Faraday's hand is the ink from his fountain pen.
I see. Good work! You know, I always wanted to say that, even if it was just one time in my life.
If Mr. Faraday wrote with his fountain pen in his left hand, I think it's fair to assume he was left-handed. It appears that Mr. Faraday's pen is very important to our case as well.
Okay, if you say so, pal.
There's a very tidy pile of plastic bags on the table, and yet a portion of them wound up scattered on the floor as well. It's not likely that the ones on the floor were knocked over during a struggle, in which case, might there be another explanation as to how they got there?
Another reason?
I believe it's possible that the blood on the outside of the bag is related somehow.
Please get that blood away from me, pal!
Detective Gumshoe, whose blood is on this bag?
Hold on, let me ask the lab guy.
Alright, please hurry.
Wait till you get a load of this, pal. It's Mr. Faraday's. Oh, and the technician said they didn't find anything else on or in the bag either.
It would appear that this bag is a very important piece of evidence.
Okay, if you say so. I leave it in your hands, pal. I guess there's not much left to investigate, huh? They really did kill each other.
No, we can't conclude that quite yet. There's still something I find very peculiar here. The theory that they simply killed one another is too simplistic in this case. In fact, there is actually a contradiction that shows there is another possibility.
No way, pal. Really?
I suppose I will just have to show you the conflict in this crime scene. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Is this spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold? Eureka! Now we come face to face with the contradiction I've spoke of, and it is this! Mr. Faraday used his left hand to write with his fountain pen. Ergo, he is left-handed. And yet, the handgun is in his right hand. Don't you find it odd that the left-handed Mr. Faraday would hold his gun in his right hand? And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the great contradiction haunting this crime scene.
Hey, you're right, pal. That does seem kinda strange. But how could something like that happen?
The facts add up to one conclusion, and one alone. Someone else put the gun in Mr. Faraday's hand after he died.
Someone else?
Plastic bags scattered on the floor, and a gun in the wrong hand. I sense the presence of a shadowy figure behind this case. A person of vile intent who is serious about keeping the truth from us.